We're filming now, Buster Jim.
Okay, so he'll just be around, I guess.
That's fine.
Okay.
3, 2, bingo!
There he goes.
Hello, my dears. Hero here.
And I'm Lynel.
And welcome to the BDSP Dissection Trilogy finale.
Woo! Round of applause! Woo!
Nailed it. In part 1, we discussed what makes the core of Diamond and Pearl so great.
In part 2, we covered the game's awkward transition from DS to Switch. Hello.
That's my cat, Bingo.
He's gay. He supports queer rights.
Scylla Het.
More like Scylla homo.
We'll be here all week.
I take full credit for that joke. That's funny.
And in this final part, we will be delving into the side and bonus content that fully flesh out the Gen 4 experience.
We kept you waiting long enough. Hi! Oh my god. It's a fucking hurricane. Criminal child. We kept you waiting long enough.
How many years has it been?
Years it's been. 2. Without further ado, here's the conclusion to our review.
Woo! Next up, we're moving on to the Grand Underground.
My favorite part of the game.
It's a pretty dope place. A lot of the ecosystem from the original Grand Underground, the map layout is the same. And the spelunking minigame was a thing originally in that game, so that's cool. But they've also added these rooms, these giant rooms where you can catch all kinds of cool Pokemon. And it's kind of a compromise of like the old formula where you have random encounters throughout the rest of the game. But then these dedicated areas that show off the new formula where you can just see the Pokemon around and like catch them and they'll run after you.
You can interact with them, you can run away, you can kind of sneak up on them. It's fun, it's cool, it's interactive, and I like it. It's also a place to catch like better Pokemon. They are a lot stronger, more evolved, and as you progress through the game, they tend to go up in levels so that...
The scaling's pretty decent.
Yeah, as the more gyms you defeat, the stronger they get in the underground, the higher levels they get, so you end up going through and you get more XP for these Pokemon since you're gonna be stronger later in the game, so they'll also be stronger to match, which is nice.
Get some good EXP, do some good grinding. The level scaling is much better than routes in the game. Like routes become a less reliable way to get Pokemon, and you end up getting a lot of Pokemon from the Grand Under.
You go through them once, you see all the Pokemon there is to get there, and you just like, no, it's fine. You go through them once, you catch all the Pokemon you don't already have, and then that's it.
Now, secret bases, I wanted to touch on those a little bit because back in the day, secret bases had more stuff you could put in them. It wasn't, the focus wasn't to put in these statues that attracted specific types to these dungeon rooms to thus help you complete your Pokedex, which is a fun mechanic. It's a trade-off.
It took me a while to actually utilize them, but it took me until I was collecting starters to actually implement the statues, because they don't really hold a purpose other than looking cool.
Yeah, I was having a hard time finding Elekid, which is version exclusive to Diamond, and I wanted a couple so I could trade you for a Magby.
Yeah.
So my first use of the statues was I put a lot of electric type statues around the room, and then the room where Elekid was supposed to show up, I spent like an hour there at first, nothing. It took a couple tries the next time to get the Elekid, and I caught a bunch of them after that. So it's cool. One thing you do lose, and this isn't necessarily a point off for you because you didn't really have this in the past, but the bases used to have more stuff going on.
Yeah.
You used to get like beds and stuff, and you can make it like your fort, your base, and you could visit your friends' bases too.
Yeah.
Like we could, in theory, visit each other's bases. We never did end up, but you can.
Yeah. If you play on...
But you're just pulling up to whatever random assortment of statues we have pulled up at the time.
Yeah. And you can turn on other people's bases, so like if they have a bunch of fire type Pokemon or a bunch of shinies or dragon type, chips or whatever it is that they have in their base.
If you're playing online.
Yeah, if you can turn on their effects as well, and it'll affect your gameplay on the online underground, which is cool.
It's cool, yeah. It still maintains a level of interactivity. You lose some of the personalization, but you get some new things in return. With the spelunking minigame, one of the big treasures you can get from doing the minigame is boxes.
I love boxes.
With the statues in them, yeah.
Only problem with the boxes, I would say, is that you end up getting, like, so many copies of the same statues. I have
yeah, you get a lot of repeats.
Yeah, a lot of Murkrows, a lot of Miss Magius, a lot of starters as well.
Togepi, I got a lot of Togepis.
Yeah, Togekiss, I got a lot of those. But boxes are super fun. I wish I could get rid of some of the statues. I don't need this many of this one kind of statue. It seems a little excessive.
Yeah.
But I guess the more the merrier. I've got an infinite storage for statues the size of buildings.
So yeah, the system is built around, the Grand Underground is structured around tweaking your base and other people tweaking their bases so you can catch cool Pokemon and spawn Pokemon that you wouldn't usually see anywhere else. And it's a fun way to do it, I think. Some people may find it tedious. Some people may not like what's lost in order for what's gained. But at face value, it works. It's fun. It's one of the more ambitious parts of the game. So
and spending a lot of time in the underground.
Yeah, we spent
hours, days.
And some of it was just doing the spelunking minigame, which we cannot stress enough how fun it is. But don't take just Lynel and I's word for it. OldBoiHungry, friend of the channel, content creator / streamer, and seller of less cool mug than my mug, has joined us here today to share his thoughts on the spelunking minigame. So without further ado, take it away, old boy. That can't be the right clip. On second thought, you can just take Lynel and I's word for it. Back to you.
It's addictive.
It's just simple. It's just simple goodness. You tap the screen at the beginning. You are told
things.
How many treasures you can get. And yeah, you find things. And it can be cool items that become super useful, like heart scales. It's one of the main ways to get heart scales, which is really key to basically having the option to give your Pokemon any moveset they want at any time by being able to go to the move tutor.
Which is especially helpful later in the game when the Pokemon that you catch are super under-evolved, but high level, level 60s, but still first evolution. They'll have all the moves that they need to learn at level 60 because they just do.
Yeah.
So you just take this small little, whatever it is, Trico or whatever, and you take it to the move tutor and you can put Dragon Rage on it.
Yeah, give him his best moves because they're just there in the bank.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool now. You haven't gotten to play Arceus yet, but now it's just a system built in. Mm-hmm. You can just click on your Pokemons, and there's an option in the menu that says change moves, and any move you've ever had is just there. It's just baked in. Yeah, it's great.
I like the move tutor, though. It makes it feel kind of special.
It gives a purpose,
You have to be more economical with your heart skills. The only problem is they give you so many heart skills that it kind of takes away from that. But even still, if you're going in for a bunch of different things, or switching them out, trying to see which movesets fit the best, it's you can only do it so many times. And it affords this kind of wisdom. You pick and choose very carefully and how many Pokemon you want to evolve, or not evolve, change the movesets around, which is nice. You can also find lots of evolution stones underground. Mm-hmm. You can find lots and lots of fossils. I have all
pretty much any fossil up to Gen 4.
Yeah.
All of them.
I've got all the fossils, including Craniados, which is Virgin exclusive for Ding Dongs over here.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If you get really into spelunking, you'll want multiple Craniados and Shieldon fossils so you can trade with your buds.
Yeah. And I've also got a bunch of stuff that you find in the underground, revives, max revives.
A bunch of the items that are sellables, the Stardust,
pieces,
nuggets, and that kind of stuff.
You find pieces and gems, small gems, large gems, rare gems that's for Raminass, the cool ones.
Yeah. The ones
Once
that
you
allow
find
you
them.
to catch the legendaries in the post game. So there's a lot of reason to play this one mini game, and luckily it's really fun.
Yeah,
so.
you get a lot of stuff. The only problem
You'll be
is-
doing it anyway most of the time.
Only problem is there's so much stuff and you don't know what you're gonna get, which is fun, but also it's like, damn, I didn't get that one thing that I really needed, or I found this one thing, but I didn't actually achieve it because I ran out of time, or I'm out of hits, or I just didn't quite get to it, or couldn't find it.
And don't forget to mention that thing with the ting in the wall. What's up with that?
We have one major complaints with spelunking. Play the sound.
Play the sound. Mom, you wanna cover your ears for this one?
Yeah, Hero's mom, seriously. This is not... Just cover your ears for a sec.
Oh boy.
I can feel that one in my teeth.
It's the worst. Hate that sound.
Just adds a little edge of anxiety to the spelunking experience, you know?
Oh no, metal rebar. Why
Oh.
is it there? No one knows. It's just there to annoy you.
It's really...
In every wall.
You just feel it in your bones when you strike that metal. You're like, fuck.
And again, and again, and again.
Yeah, nothing like hitting a bunch of them in a row.
It's great. Love it.
Sound warning again. Moving on. Woof. That pitch is ear grating.
Yeah.
Don't forget about that thing with the ting in the wall underground.
There's a ting with the thing?
Ting tinging. Thing ting bing. What's up with that?
Now I remember what that clip was for. Ad time. Did you know that good oral hygiene is a great way to prevent your teeth from staining after your morning cup of coffee out of your Hero the Main mug? Hell, you don't even have to drink coffee out of the mug. You could use the mug as the thing that holds your toothbrush. Thanks, OldBoiHungry, for reminding us how cool my mug is. Shout out to you. Thanks for being a special guest for the BDSP Dissection Trilogy. We recorded all his parts that you've seen way back when this video was posted. A lot of amazing, talented people have collaborated with me to make this Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl dissection series possible. There's two people that we need to shout out that helped make this video happen. Thank you to Vidit_H, whom I found on Fiverr.com. He had excellent reviews as a video editor and totally handled the task of editing a 1.5 hour timeline, cleaning up all the audio, getting that balanced, color grading the thing, zooming in at certain points, adding fun zooms, a lot of the fun framing and zoom effects. That was all his edits. So I couldn't be happier with the work he did for me. Excellent communication. Anything I wanted adjusted from the samples he gave me, he did. I totally would work with him again. The second person I'd like to shout out today is my co-star and co-reviewer, Lynel.
Thank you.
Thank you for being the second half to this review, really.
Yeah.
Literally, it wouldn't be the videos that they are without you here.
Yeah. You invited me to, well, you actually reintroduced me to Pokemon, so I felt honored to do it. I had a lot to say about it because as an avid gamer and more recent Pokemon fan, it helped me to analyze the games more as an adult and be able to pick through it and find what I liked and what I didn't like about it and to fully understand the games as an adult, which was nice. It's a great experience, and thank you for doing it with me.
The honor was all mine. It was a lot of fun, and it feels like I've been living this review on repeat as one of the videos editors for a long time now. So to be able to share it with the people as well is very exciting. Thank you. And I guess final person to thank is you, the viewer.
Yeah.
We did talk about this, but we have a little note about you might as well, when it asks you to go into the Grand Underground.
Just to go online.
Yeah, because you'll notice a little meter, and it's never really explained, but there's a meter that says 0 to 40, and whenever you run past a Diglett in the Grand Underground, you'll get...
Dig Trio.
Dug Trio, yep. You'll get a sparkling thing that fills up this meter. When you're underground with people,
that meter fills up a lot quicker
because everyone is sharing it. Mm-hmm. The Diglets don't appear like often enough, and you'll get distracted a lot with spelunking. That if you did it by yourself, very rare you're filling that meter up.
I have played for hours and still have never filled that meter myself, because it's just, they don't appear as often, but when there's a bunch of people running around on the same server and they're all appearing different places for
like every 10 minutes,
they all count towards the same meter, it fills up so much quicker. Like every 5 minutes it's going to go off, and there's going to be much better stuff, better loot, better boxes, which gives you shinier statues. You have higher chances of finding and catching shiny Pokemon in the dungeon rooms. Not that I've ever seen one, but they are there, and the chances are...
Yeah, because shiny chances are low no matter what, but they're higher. Yeah, they're higher.
They're higher during the rainbow meter. But you might as well just, be online for that. It makes going into the underground a lot more enticing, exciting, more adventurous. There's better Pokemon in the dungeons. The Diglett meter fills up quicker. You also have help finding loot in the spelunking walls.
Yeah, you get to actually interact with strangers. I know. I find it's a little inconsistent, but sometimes it works where you'll both be digging at the same time. And same way with the meter, like each of your... It's a collaborative effort. It all works towards getting the same treasure.
Yeah. And you don't really see it when you're playing offline, but online, you dig into the wall, and then on either side of you, there are also spots where people can dig next to you with white sparkles. Those are places where gems are usually easier to come by. So if you are online, your chances of finding better loot are a lot higher, as well as stronger Pokemon, stuff that usually doesn't come up very often or easy. So like Elkid, Magbees, a lot of starter Pokemon.
Yeah.
Some of the big boys as well. So like Pinsir will usually...
It's just a no-brainer at the end of the day.
Just go online. People are usually not really going to bother you. If anything, they're going to help you. It's like, it just makes it much more easy.
Heck yeah.
Although it is kind of scary when you see someone run out of nowhere, just like right past you, or when they're like following you because you're spelunking and they're like, I'm gonna spelunk with you. It's a little creepy, but like, it's cool.
Yeah, because also sometimes you're like digging in the wall and it's like you're about halfway done and suddenly like just parts of the wall start bursting.
Yeah.
Like, oh, hello.
Like some other kid is here just like banging around on the wall for you, and it's like,
neat.
Okay.
And then they'll like disappear, so you're like, did it work?
Mm-hmm.
Did everyone get their treasure?
Nope.
Moving on to contest. Nice, dude.
Yeah.
So there are 3 things that you are ranked on in a Pokemon contest. You are ranked on your look and appearance, or rather your Pokemon's look and appearance. You are ranked on the use of a special move during the rhythm game. And you are also ranked on how many points you score in general on the rhythm game. The rhythm game is a big one. It's the most basic of rhythm games.
Yeah.
There's only one button. Yeah, but it's fun.
Yeah.
We had fun playing it.
It's broken down into 4 categories. There's entry level, and then there's easy, medium, and then mastery.
And the master one can get pretty intense. There's a lot of quick notes that come up.
Especially because there's 6 different contests you can be a part of, and all 6 have a different song with different complexity.
Mm-hmm.
Different tempo, different like everything. So you just have to be very aware of what's going on in the song.
But if you're good at it, and if you have experience with rhythm games, and you like consistently do well at different ranks of it, you'll find that that will help you win most contests up until the master rank. It is by far the it makes the most difference on if you win or not.
Mastery is the hardest of the levels that I've found. It's hard to get mastery on any of the contests, but if you sit there and you play the earlier ones enough, then you get a pretty good feel for the tempo, the rhythm, like where the notes are going to be. And then once you get to it, you'll be pretty prepared to win the mastery rank, and then you'll get a ribbon and some cool stickers. That's fun.
Yeah, the stickers are fun. That'll be in the appearance section. The next note I have is on the special moves.
Your moves, your special move, quote unquote, can be a move that you use in battle. So like Dragon Dance will raise your attack for dragon type moves in battle, but in contest it'll do a different thing where it'll like exempt you from missed notes for 3 seconds, and people tend to like that more. Because its special moves are graded out of 3 hearts, so better moves will have higher amounts of hearts and will do different things. And they'll be more specific to how you want to play the songs, whichever one's going to cover your butt more. So if you find that you're missing notes more, especially towards the end of the song, you'll want something that'll exempt you from that. Or if you want something that'll just boost overall points, go for that.
Yeah, you can hit it right before that barrage of notes. And
towards the end of the song, so you don't have to do anything with it. You'll also want to hit them with other Pokemon, so when everybody else is hitting their moves, you kind of want to hit your move.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily what you have to do, it's just better because all of the Pokemon are using their multipliers at the same time, so you're probably going to get the most benefit out of it.
Yeah, they stack, so if you're the 4th one in a round of multipliers, that can also add to your total points in the end.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's good to have Pokemon that have not really good battle advantage, but are good in contests because they can hold on to moves that are good in contests.
It gives like a different application for those more niche moves that maybe are harder to pull off in battle. Mm-hmm. That's always been kind of a disconnect in Pokemon. Particularly, I'm thinking about the double battle format and the move Protect. Like the move Protect is really great for stalling and huge in double battle formats, but when you're playing the main Pokemon game, it just doesn't kind of make sense.
And it's good to have those moves that you can't quite fit onto your best battle Pokemon on other more useless Pokemon, the ones that you don't really use.
Useless in the lens of this is a game where battling is the most important thing. It gives you like those, it's options.
Yeah.
The last thing you're ranked on
is your appearance.
Now, the only real thing, I tested this pretty meticulously, the only thing that affects how people view your Pokemon's appearance is very specific stickers labeled a beauty sticker or a cool sticker, the different contest varieties. The first contest you enter, you'll probably get not great appearance scores at all. You have to earn a bunch of coolness stickers to get better points in the coolness competition.
I personally don't like that.
I don't either.
Because, in, Pokemon Snap, the professor didn't know jack shit about photography.
There's the one I killed.
And the professor just called it Sleeping Buddies. Yeah, sure.
Sleeping Buddies.
He's dead!
I threw an apple at it, and they call them fluff fruits.
Soft and delicious.
It's supposedly a very soft fruit, so you're not beating fruit at defenseless Pokemon.
But you did.
But that Morlul is small, so I feel like even throwing a pillow at something like that could do some serious damage. Oh my gosh, how is that a 1-star photo?
It's a diamond 1-star though.
How is that a 1? Yeah, it's the best
it's
1-star.
It's as good as it's gonna get for a terrible photo.
Also, yeah, we did figure out the ranking. We can't think of it as like best. Like it's really the bronze through platinum that determines
it's
that.
The action that they're doing that determines how many stars it is.
Like if Morlul is doing the action of dying, that's a good photo.
You just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
I've actually taken photography courses, I've taken pictures, and I know composition, I can do that.
It's graded like a video game and not like a photo.
Yeah, which is the problem, because I've made really cool balls, and my Torterra's capsule looks really freaking cool. But the crowd is like kind of meh on it. It's like, it looks nice and like, they're just not jazzed about it. And I'm like, you guys don't know anything about
it's the same.
fashion.
Yeah, it's the exact same problem of it being graded by that very video game standard and not like
an actual artistic lens. It's kind of frustrating because they want you to do a specific thing even if it doesn't look good because you know what appearances are as seeing it through a human lens, but the video game thinks it knows better than you because it's the video game. It's like, well, this doesn't look cool. It's just a bunch of the same sticker and then it crowds the whole screen and it doesn't look cool. And meanwhile, the monkeys out in the crowd are going, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the first thing that tipped me off to this was in the beauty competition. I had a sick Roselia, or maybe it was a Roserade by this point, my begonia, had a bunch of flower petal stickers on it, and it like came out in a flourish of petals,
and it was absolutely stunning, and it worked perfectly for this flowery Pokemon. And I thought the crowd would like lose their shit, like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And it like got a couple hearts.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh. And then I think this might have been my first beauty competition. Got a beauty, the sticker, threw it on just on top of the same variant. And now there's like a sudden weird like camera flash in it for the beauty sticker. Kind of messed up my whole vibe, but it got better points.
I just don't like it because like I spent a lot of time like making sure that my ball capsule was sick as fuck for my Torterra. I've got like pink and purple up by the tree.
We put effort in them.
Yeah, up by the tree because I know Torterras can have like pink flowers on the trees, so I wanted to kind of emulate that with the pink and purple kind of flowery petals, sparkles nonsense and just kind of allude to it. And then I've got leaves around it to like, you know, the whole leaf grass type thing. And then on the bottom, he's got this kind of rock type, ground smashing, shattering effect where he'll land and
it really captures the
essence of Torterra. It's pink on top with leaves and then the ground typing at the bottom. And it just looks like what a Torterra capsule is supposed to look like. And the crowd's like, meh.
They're not having it.
Well, clearly you just want more of the same thing. It's like, you don't know anything.
I'm glad we agree on that point. You win stickers when you play any of the contest ranks with the exception of Master Rank.
That gives you a ribbon because you've mastered the entire competition at that point. You've beaten the hardest level, so they'll just give you a ribbon for that Pokemon.
Which is what you're going for. The ribbons are cool. If you are planning to get into the ribbon house, like having a dedicated Pokemon that you're stacking all the ribbons on, if you have it win a contest, that's also great.
The only problem is that you can't put a Pokemon in all the contests to win. Some Pokemon will be key in certain competitions because they'll like a specific food, a specific Poffin that you can make, which will amp up their ability to do well in those contests. And some Pokemon will just eat anything, so they'll be more versatile in whatever competition you want to ace them in. But for the most part, certain Pokemon will have a specific kind of food that they enjoy the most and will get the most out of. So those are the competitions that you should put them into for them to do the best in.
Be right back. I have a little system here.
Little cheat sheet.
Little cheat sheet. Oh wait, no, this one's just the berries. Wait.
Yeah, for Poffin making, right?
Yeah, but I had one, this one's just the recipes. I also had one that was like what nature is compared to which flavors.
Oh, yeah.
Like I think spicy was cool. Bitter is cleverness, because I like to think that clever people are jaded because they know how fucked the world is. I'm kind of conflating cleverness with intelligence to make that work, but anyway, we'll make the jump. But yeah, oh gosh, tangent. To wrap a bow on that.
To put a ribbon on this one.
To put a ribbon, nice. You'll have different Pokemon that are predisposed to different berry flavors. Some like anything, so you can enter them in anything because you can feed them anything. Yeah. But most Pokemon will prefer something like sweetness. So sweet Pokemon, you'll make a bunch of sweet Poffins to then boost its sweetness stats, or its cuteness stat rather. And then you throw that in a cuteness competition. And that also helps with the appearance stat too. That's true. And what I found is there's a thing called Sheen. And basically all that means is there's a limit to how many Poffins you can feed a Pokemon. So you can't max out every stat of every Pokemon. That's what the Sheen basically, it makes it so you can't.
You can only master like one, maybe two.
It's two. You can pretty consistently hit two, especially if you make your Poffins with dual flavors. So if you make a lot of spicy sweets, like let's say, and you have a Pokemon that likes spicy, you'll boost its cool stat a bunch, but then also like have a Pokemon with by the end with a maxed out cuteness stat as well. So in theory, you can have a Pokemon do well in 2 of the 5 competition types.
Reliably.
Yeah.
If you get good at the Poffin making, which is hard because there's no like directory of how to do it. It's so frustrating. Especially because like it takes you a while to get enough kinds of berries to kind of fill in the gaps, which is really hard. It forces you to grow a lot of berries.
And different berries have different rarities.
Yeah.
So
But once you find
get
one-
way more sweet berries than sour berries. I think sour are the rarest. And so whatever competition is associated with sourness, that one will be the hardest one to win, or just the one you'll have access to the latest because you won't be able to max out that stat super reliably.
And that forces you to go around town asking the berry people for berries every day because they give out free stuff. So like you can't find those berries until you go to those people and they're like, here's this new berry you've never heard of before. And you're like, whoa.
It's all pretty connected. Like, I think that's why we had the contest section and the Grand Underground section so close. There's technically side modes, but a lot of how you interact with the world itself
Is directly connected to it via one way or another.
Yeah, so the game like wants you to play them, and if your enjoyment of the whole experience will depend greatly on if you like contests and exploring the Grand Underground. If you really are just in it for the Pokemon battling and stuff,
It's fine.
it might just be a lot of extra fluff that you don't care about. But I think it really brings Sinnoh
To life.
to life. Yeah, there's stuff to do and reasons to do it.
You can pick berries all day. You can smear honey on trees. Like,
Yeah,
just go be one with nature, I guess.
yeah, you're just a 10-year-old vibing.
Yeah.
And like do it like you're like, oh, if I do this will happen, cool. And if I do this will happen.
backpack.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. We'll have a more extensive berry talk in a later chapter. Before we finish off our talk of contests, though, another fun feature about it is you're not only winning contests, you're raising up the rank of the contest hall.
Yes.
By basically bringing good ratings, by putting on good shows.
You gain more points for the hall and the hall upgrades, which can actually help you win later contests because they're going to give you more style points essentially because the stage you're working on is a lot nicer, it's a lot cooler, there's more things happening.
So you're not just winning competitions, you're
Investing in your future.
yeah, as a contest star. Yeah, it's really cool, and it maxes out at level 4, which I found I won about 3 different ribbons before I maxed out the rank of the hall, so it was a little short-lived, but it's a nice extra thing that give a little more reason to do stuff.
A little push.
Yeah, so good stuff, good touch. Ball stickers. So let's talk a little more about ball capsules.
Yeah, why don't we?
Besides the annoyance of it not ultimately playing into how your appearance is judged in the Pokemon contest, the one place where you would want your ball capsules to be graded, it is still a fun supplementary mechanic.
Yeah.
It's something you don't have to do, but we liked doing it.
Design and collect all these stickers that do different things, different effects, and switch them out for your Pokemon just to give them a little extra love in battle.
You would win stickers from gym leaders, right?
Yeah, you get a couple.
It's an extra reward for like doing cool things like that.
Some of the stickers that they use on their balls, you'll get about 3 of them. You'll just get 3 of one kind, and they're like, here's some stickers that I use, and like, you'll never use them, but like, if you do, sure, cool.
Yeah, I was super invested. I remember one of my early notes about the game was just like being in love with ball capsules. And then I hit like Gym 3 or something and kind of never made another new ball.
I also did that. I made one for my Torterra, one for my Steelix, and one for my Rapidash, and then I didn't make one until I got Cyndaquil, and then I decked his ball out.
Yeah.
It's freaking cool.
But that's the thing. It's like there for you when you want it.
Yeah.
You can like tell.
If you find a Pokemon that you really, really love and enjoy and love playing with a lot, and you have it out on the battlefield a
give it a
lot,
sick ball.
yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Just a little extra flair.
Did we ever encounter just random trainer? I think some random trainers have them too. I want to say like there was a Goldeen at one point that had just like hearts kind of pop off or something.
I think 1 or 2 trainers just have like random, like maybe 1 or 2 stickers on their ball just because like
it could have been done up a little more probably if you wanted to sell like the whole world's really into stickers.
yeah, it could have been more that like everybody's got at least 1 sticker on their ball, or just like, I don't know. Most people, especially in like the contest town where the hall is, it would be cooler if like you could battle people and like they had a lot of stickers on their ball.
I think it would have mitigated our
Lack of interest.
yeah as the game went on. Like I think the most
You would have seen more in different combinations of stickers and go, oh, that's cool, I want to try that.
extended beyond the gym leaders basically.
Yeah.
So not like a huge like the game messed up for not doing it, but it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and this one says you wish that there was like a store store where you could just buy any of them.
Yeah, I mean, there is this place in Sunshore that is like the sticker store, and like you can go there and they change out stickers and they got a bunch that you can buy, but I wish there was like a supermarket for the stickers because there's so many of them and it never feels like I have enough of one because like I run out or they're on different Pokemon or...
And you just kind of lose track of like...
where they are.
I would like to know what all the stickers I am able to get are. Similar to like you're filling up the Pokedex. I don't need like a whole sticker dex, but I'd like to know.
I'd like to know what I can use and what my tools are and how cool and creative I can get with these ball capsules because they all do different things.
And there's like a early sticker store as well in Floroma.
Well,
where you can trade berries for stickers.
So that takes a lot more effort, and the stickers are honestly a little less cool. Some of them down, like further down, but you don't even get those berries until late game.
They're a little bit of the kind of basic stickers, I will say. Though it did make a cool like berry economy within the game.
Yeah.
Where like berries kind of mattered for other things beyond poffin making and like in battle use.
Which is cool, but like...
Because I was obsessed with berries. I keep teasing it that we'll get there, because we will. But it did motivate me to keep growing berries so I could get those stickers. But then as you go on, you do realize that, oh, these are kind of the basic early game stickers.
And they cost a lot of berries to get, so like it's not really worth using them to get stickers that you are probably not going to use when you can use them on poffins or in battle or just like planting more berries. Like it's just, it doesn't seem worth it to me. So it's like a store that you could go to with just all the stickers laid out and then maybe some like exclusive stickers that like costed rare berries or something.
Not the worst idea, but could have been executed a little better. Small gripe on ball capsules as well. When you toggle between the 2D and 3D view of the Pokeball, cool that you can do that. Not cool that it resets it regardless. It doesn't matter. You've had this ball like saved. This is how you've had it laid out. But I just want to check it out in the 3D view. No, it's gonna wipe it. It's weird. I
don't really have this gripe. I didn't really go between the 2D and 3D. I saw that the grid worked and I was like, why change it? There's no reason to change it.
Yeah, and that's what you end up doing is it's a small issue that you solve by picking which mode you like better, and the 2D is way better because of the grid view.
I'm sure it's cool to like actually see the ball and like see the stickers on the ball and like, whoa, this is like a real object. But like for the purpose of putting stickers on the ball and like customizing the actual look of the capsule when it opens, the grid works a lot better just to keep things organized.
Yeah, it satisfies the like the organized part of my brain that wants everything just so.
Yeah.
It makes the toggle ultimately pretty silly because you're just not going to be toggling.
You can put stickers on the back of your ball, which I think is hilarious because like you're never ever gonna see it from opening from the back. Ever.
Some of them are cool. Like I've noticed
some of the
smaller Pokemon and also any effect that kind of has like a flame trail type thing can end up looking kind of sick with the like by putting the stickers on the back of the ball.
Bigger Pokemon, the grid scales way too much. So like Steelix or Onix or Gyarados or Palkia, those Pokemon will be so big when the ball opens that you kind of have to cram everything into the center, like the forward bottom center of the ball in order to even be visible on screen when it opens, because if it's...
Will the effect be off the screen?
Yeah, it'll be off screen, which won't make any sense because the Pokemon's just too big when you open the ball, and if the Pokemon is smaller, then the capsules will scale down so it'll be more visible. But if they're too big, you have to crowd everything so that it gets on the screen, or else what's the point? You're not even going to be able to
I never explicitly noticed that, but that does explain a lot of weird design, Pokeball design jank I faced. So yeah, good eye on that and noticing what was happening there.
Which was super strange. I was like, okay, this isn't really worth the energy if it's not even going to be visible, and I have to work in like this 3x3 pixel that'll only be visible on screen. Like, it's ridiculous.
Okay, last chapter. Team Galactic, Berry, and berries.
I've been alluding to berries so much.
Why are they all in the same chapter? Because
everything is interconnected. It's hard to sort everything.
It'll make sense.
Yeah.
So I'll start off with the berries, the berry discussion.
Yeah. This is your topic.
This is my thing. This is my thing.
You're much more into the berries than I was.
Because this is legitimately the nice one. First game where I gave a single shit about berries. These have been implemented in Pokemon for a long time, and my attitude has always been run up to berry bush, pick berry, bye now. Ooh, store can only sell berry for 10 cents. Whatever, I need as much money as I can get. Have this random resource I don't give a shit about. I really underutilize berries. Some people may have heard that and been like, oh my god, this freaking child. Don't worry, this game taught me the way. Berries are really fun to, after you pick them, get this, you can replant them. And from the flower shop in Floroma, you can water them to make them grow faster. And actually...
They don't grow at all otherwise, if you don't water them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no.
Oh, cool.
Because I didn't get the spray duck because I'm an idiot and I missed that part of it. I was just like, you just put the berries in the dirt, they'll grow. And it's like, no, you gotta water
So you need to make the plants all happy. Word.
Yeah. So I sat there for like 2 days trying to figure out why my berries weren't growing, and I was like, I gotta water them. Okay.
But what made me care about them for the first time ever, the thing that I think is really smart about this game's use of berries, is there are multiple areas where they're useful. There is, of course, that early shop where you can get some stickers and trade. There's like a berry economy, so you trade berries for stickers. It implies berries will become useful in other shops potentially later. They don't, but
Just the one.
But it does make you like start collecting them a little bit. Then, of course, sour berries are rarer than sweet berries. Sweet berries, they're often color-coded pink. They're like your pecha berries and your...
Leppas?
Leppa would be spicy because it's a little red. Red coating makes it spicy most of the time. But pecha berries and things of that like are easier to find. Sour berries, the first one you find is like the aspir. And then for a while, it's like a while before you get citrus and access to many of the other sour berries.
The problem with the berries I found is that you can only use one of them, one of each type of berry. So you can't really even make consistent poffins until you have a couple of berries that A, are one flavor, or B, do multiple things.
Yeah, so you can't use in poffin making doubles of any berries or it'll just come out foul.
Yeah.
What you want to do is if you want a purely sweet poffin, you want to throw in 4 sweet poffin or like 4 pinkish berries. And most of them fit the color coding, so it's pretty smart. And there's a level of rarity with each of the flavors. So there's a whole basically berry universe. There is a berry kind of hierarchy in Pokemon that you don't even fully realize on the surface until you're really getting into it. And then suddenly you're like, okay, I need like a bunch more of this kind of berry. And then you start running around and planting them everywhere. And
The system I used to do with my berries is that if I was ever low on a berry, if I was like 20 or less, I would plant a lot of those. That way I could just like catch up, boost myself all the way up to 40. Patches of 4 are really good for that. So if you've got a couple of like a lesser amount of berries, you just always want to have at least like 30 in your inventory for whatever reason. Just plant a wide variety of shit, man.
yeah, they come up and they're pretty cool. You keep going through the game, you keep visiting there's 2 berry houses where they'll give you a random berry each day. You keep planting your stuff, you keep like exploring the world, and you're like, holy, how many berries are in this game? There are a lot, and it's just kind of fun. It becomes a new thing. It's another collectible aside from not just calling Pokemon collectibles, but it's another thing to you can fill out.
To me.
Yeah, you can fill out your Pokedex. Yeah. You can also fill out your berry dex.
Or your Stickadex.
Yeah, if only there was a Stickadex. With the berries though, they're numbered, so you can keep track. So that's good. And yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Arguably, this game made berries cool. And it becomes a thing basically where it's a daily activity. Pokemon often has various events that are time-based, and it's in order to keep you engaged and keep you coming back.
berries and the ribbon lady who gives you a different ribbon every day.
In Sunny Shore.
Driftloon only shows up on Fridays, and you can only get him on Fridays, which is cool.
And so it gave me like the equivalent of like my dailies in an MMORPG. I boot up Brilliant Diamond, I go to Orberg City, and then I do my classic loop, which I can show on screen sped up, like I consider my classic loop.
Route.
But there's a bunch of berry bushes you pass by, and it just has you revisiting those places. And
Honey trees as well. You can go back and
honey trees.
Those are less. Those are even more time specific because if you wait an extra day or if you miss a day,
Too long, they'll
just disappear.
They're more finicky
Because there's Pokemon there and they don't stick around forever.
So yeah, your town map also shows you when your berry bushes are ready, when your honey trees have a Pokemon at them. So it makes exploring the world and doing that backtracking actually something you look forward to, and it adds to that lived-in feel of Sinnoh. That's why I really liked berry picking. It made Sinnoh a much more concrete region in my brain. My mental map that used to be pretty good as a kid of Sinnoh, but I have since lost, is now like, boom, again. I know where like this little secrets are, because there's a reason to keep visiting the little secret places. There's a lot of fun berry designs. We're talking about the collectability of them. And I like how
some of them are named after real fruits.
And then
Blackberries.
The blackberry.
Tomato.
Raspberry is on the nose. It's just spelled with R-A-Z-Z. I like the orange berries because it's just orange, the word orange with G-E lopped off, and then the fruit's blue, but looks like an orange.
Then Asper.
That one's one of my favorites. Yeah, the Asper.
Pear. It's a pear.
Lepa berries, I think, are supposed to be like...
lemon, maybe? They look kind of... I might know.
No.
Lychee.
Lychee berry, yep.
That's,
Lepa lychee, they're close. And then you get just weird ones, like what the heck is the Salak berry supposed to be? Like, I'm sure it's based off of fruit, but it's an odd one. So it's fun.
Some of them are just like super creative looking, and like Kelpsie berries, those ones are pretty cool. Palm eggs, pomegranate.
Yep.
Those ones are my favorite. They look really pretty. I like those
The
ones.
palm egg is a really good one. I like the tomato because it's a tomato with spikes.
Panlinberry, I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Some of them are just super weird, and the other ones are like, we're fruit. And I'm like, okay.
The berry jingle. I love it.
The berry jingle.
The serotonin.
I personally didn't really care that much about berry picking. I knew berries were important and like I did it, but I wasn't quite as enraptured by it.
And I think the amount I did it, I went over the top. It quickly showed like, okay, it's not as important as the amount of time Hero's putting into it.
Yeah. Hero just really likes berry picking. Like, I did it because I needed to. Hero did it because they wanted to.
I needed my berry jingle fix.
Yeah. Because I found that going around the entire map planting berries and picking them every day was going to take me like an hour and a half on its own. And I was like, I really can't stay focused on that for an hour.
Yeah.
So
meanwhile, I could.
If I needed a berry, I would go and like go around and do the route and like, oh, I'll go pick some stuff and I'll go plant some stuff. And that was it. That was all I did. I didn't do it daily. It didn't give me that much serotonin, but it was fun. I enjoyed the collecting of berries. I love collecting things, which is my favorite. I love just hoarding things like Pokemon in boxes forever.
It's at least, it's at least, if you're not visiting all your berry bushes every day, it's good to at least visit the Berry Lady in Pastoria and the guy to the left of Hearthome, because they often will hit you with surprise berries that you won't even see maybe till post-game in the open world.
And I tend to fly everywhere. I don't really walk through the routes, especially because I need to go places like immediately, and I'm just like, I want to do this, and I don't want to get like sidetracked with berry picking, because if I do that, then it's going to get, I just lose my focus. So I just fly everywhere, so I don't even go to the routes that have berry patches on them. If I see them and I pass them, then like, yeah, I'm going to pick them, but like, otherwise it's not really a thing that I'm doing. Moving on from berries to berries.
Yeah, berries to berries.
Berry.
Berry, a hit show on HBO Max. Okay. Barry is a divisive character, to say the least. I love him.
I named mine D-Pass. His name was D-Pass. D-E-E Pass.
Take that, Pokemon censors.
Mr. D-Pass. So,
High regard.
I really did
High
not like
regard.
this kid. He was my rival, and that was all he was to me. He was just a little annoyance. Although he did come in clutch on Mount Coronet. So like, thanks a lot, dude. But also, screw yourself. You and your Heracross.
Meanwhile, I've gotten the absolute privilege of living through Pokemon rivals like How and what's his face from Sword and Shield, Hop. So to me, Barry's not that bad. To me, he just reads as a kid with raging ADHD, and he's just go, 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 go.
Hyper focus on the Heracross.
Yeah, and our little joke, like, where's this kid going all the time? Why is he running around
everywhere?
This kid's bolting to the various berry trees he's slathered with honey around the region because
That's the only way you can get Heracross, and he's running around all over the place, and then suddenly he shows up with this Heracross
about
on his team.
mid-game.
Yeah. And you're just like, what have you been doing? Where did you get him? And there's only one place you can get him. From the honey trees, and that's what he's been doing the entire time. But
It is well known that having a Heracross in Platinum or Diamond and Pearl is a feat because it is one of the much rarer Pokemon to get from a honey tree. Same with a female Combi.
I've got one though. I got Vespiquen. It wasn't that hard. It did take some time though.
But Barry had you on that Heracross. That's his prized Heracross.
That is his ace Pokemon.
So yeah, our working theory is this kid's running around Sinnoh constantly, just grinding to get that bug.
It's a beefy bug, I tell you what.
It is. And overall, I find him charming. Pokemon as a series, it's a tradition for random rival battles to happen. Random, like, they just run into you and they're like, we battle now.
He fought me.
And if you're nuzlocking, like, that's your nightmare.
He fought me right before I went into the Final Four, and I'm like, you don't need to be here right now. And I had just fought on Victory Road, and I was right about to go into the Final Four, and this kid's like, sorry, let's battle right now. And I'm like, you need to go.
That's what I do like about him, though, is, like, they're traditionally rivals will just pop up on you at the worst times. And at least Barry is literally running into you.
He doesn't even see you, is the thing. He's moving around at literally the speed of sound. And, like,
and
he
it
just
runs
can't
it
see you.
in the family. You meet his dad later by him running into you.
Yeah, you're just like,
like, this is too familiar.
And his mom is like, oh, my boy. Or just like, oh boy.
For the first time, you excuse the mom for kicking their kid out at 10 years old.
Yeah.
He will be fine. Trust me.
We'll be fine. It's like, yeah, no, I believe you.
So in universe, the impromptu rival battles make sense with Barry.
And some of them are pretty good. It was the problem that he would show up at the worst times with this fucking Heracross out of nowhere with a left hook like a truck.
And the kid has no chill.
No, never. He never chills. I'm just like, oh, great, this kid again.
You mentioned that double battle on Spear Pillar, and
Spear
he
Pillar,
came in
yeah,
pretty.
Yeah.
Well, it's
The same thing.
It's Spear Pillar with it on top of Mount Coronet.
Yeah.
You're not wrong. But when Barry pulls up, it's like, oh, thanks for the hand. Like,
especially because that's one of the main parts of that fight is that it is a double battle fight. You have to fight 2 grunts in order to even get onto Spear Pillar, and then Barry's gonna come up and fight a double battle with you with Jupiter and Mars. Jupiter,
the more intimidating of the Galactic commanders. Fuck Saturn.
Which is great to have Barry there for, because he's honestly pretty strong. When he's not trying to kick your ass, he's pretty reliable. I like having him on my team. But
yeah, he's got a pretty solid team. Like, we both are competent enough that he never gave us a crazy amount of trouble.
Yeah.
But Barry does know how to battle.
Which is what makes him so intimidating, is because he will show up out of nowhere and potentially kick your ass.
But what's also cool about Spear
Pillar fight
that I really enjoyed is kind of the story significance of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right before that moment, Barry has his ass handed to him by Commander Jupiter or Mars. I think it's Jupiter. And he's just like, damn, I lost. And for the first time on Spear Pillar, that is the first time where he's not like rushing ahead of you or literally running into you. Yeah, he comes behind you
with a save.
Cool and collected and makes the save.
Yeah, he's like, all right, dude, we're here to fight. We're gonna help you out with this one. You're like, okay, cool.
Before you saw him like in his worst moment, and now he's like, okay,
let's get this guy.
I'm gonna think this one through. I'm gonna help my bud on top of Spear Pillar.
Because his AI is actually designed really well to actually compete and fight. He uses potions and he uses items. He does good attack moves. His Heracross knows a lot of things. So does his Primeape, or
Infernape.
that's what I mean.
For me, it was Empoleon because I chose Infernape. But yeah,
He knows what he's doing.
it's a good time. It's a good time. He's one of the more memorable rivals. I'm so sick and tired of just milk toast. I don't give a shit rivals. That at least Barry's memorable.
Yeah.
That moment on top of Spear Pillar, pretty triumphant for him. Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Mars and Jupiter were tough bosses.
Having the two of them, like, potentially double battling them was actually
Really
terrifying.
Which is why it was such a relief when Barry came up running behind and was like, I'm here, I got your back, bro. And you're just like, oh, thank God.
I was not about to fight Peruglian Skunk Tank at the same time.
I was really scared for that fight.
We talk about, like, Mars and Jupiter together being terrifying. Separate, they were also terrifying. But weirdly, the men in Galactic, Cyrus, the big boss, and also Saturn, don't have that scary teams.
No.
I never had a problem with either.
Saturn did have, the Toxicrow, which was kind of a beast every now and then. I think I had to fight him twice before he went down.
Got you. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the Toxicroak the
It's a
same
little
way.
scary, because I wasn't expecting him to be that much quicker than me, but it really came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh shit, okay. Time to buckle down for this one. But other than that, his team really isn't that bad. It's just his Toxicroak that's like the worst of it.
Yeah.
Which makes him just kind of a bad player to fight. The rest of the team isn't really anything, but like this one Pokemon you're gonna get stuck on, which is really frustrating. And it's
Cyrus is even less memorable. Was this Ace Honchcrow or Crobat? I don't remember.
I think it might
he
have
has,
been Honchcrow.
but that Honchcrow, like, does not...
I don't know, the Honchcrow isn't really that memorable. I remember
No.
being a little beefy, but like, I don't know, he just didn't really hit that hard.
Yeah, so... Poor Cyrus, big boss, not super... Ooh.
Not that hard. He was a bit
No.
of a tank, but like, nah.
In terms of, like, the bosses of Team Galactic, there's about half of them that are actually intimidating. Team Galactic, a team as a whole, is a little odd, I would say. Cyrus's goals are extremely over the top. Just
Incredibly selfish and unexplained. He's just like,
unexplained why he's so revered by his team members for a very clearly...
not giving a shit about literally anything.
Yeah, this man just, like, hangs out in caves. Literally, every time we see him is just in a cave, brooding.
He gave us a Master Ball for whatever reason.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. And what's his goal, right? His goal is to create his own universe
Where he's the god.
where he's alone.
Yeah.
Like the distortion world, as we know, in Platinum is like his perfect spot, and that would just implicate like him and Giratina living alone.
Yeah.
That's his perfect universe, and all the grunts are like, yeah!
We support this guy. And it's like, wow.
Granted, he's not super clear about it, but he's not super clear about anything. So, like, no matter what, they shouldn't be so jazzed about, like, following this man who's just, like, a weirdo loner.
Yeah. I want to harness the power.
I guess he's a proper billionaire in that way.
Yeah, of this space-time continuum and the Pokemon that control it, just to rip them from their dimensions and force them to create a new dimension for me to live alone in, because I can control this Pokemon and therefore I'm a god. And it's like, okay, but you can't control them, so you aren't a god, and this is not gonna work. You're just...
And what got him to this point?
Yeah.
He, like, revolutionized, like, the power system in Sinnoh. Cool. Team Galactic is plastered. There's
everywhere.
Every TV screen, there's a Galactic ad playing because they're the power company of the region.
But they're also the most inept team ever.
Yeah, and everyone's like, yeah, they're kind of weird. They all have blue hair and wear spacesuits. Their leader's a weirdo loner from Sunny Shore, but we have power, so that's...
Yeah, we've got electricity. That's cool.
We'll play their ads. I guess it seems kind of... I mean, thinking about all the rich people in power in our world, I guess it's not too far off.
Yeah, honestly.
And what do all the rich people want to do? Be weirdo loners in space.
Sure.
So I guess Cyrus, at the end of the day, is the most realistic Pokemon villain that we've ever had. But he's also one of the least compelling. I used to think he was really cool as a kid, but he's
just evil for the sake of being evil is the problem. And it's like, it's not really explained. Which I find upsetting, because like as an adult playing a childhood game, it's a lot easier to point out those plot holes.
Yeah, you're like, oh, this guy who is absolutely like he goes from being like this mysterious guy to
because he owns
loner.
a fucking power company. He supplies the entire country with electricity. This guy's genius, but like he's an idiot.
He's
an idiot.
He is an idiot. The smartest idiot we've ever met. And so yeah, you go to Sunny Shore's hometown, which is interesting that Volkner and Cyrus are both like completely sapped of life, and they're both from the town that's like the most industrialized and most like relying on a power grid. Mm-hmm. Interesting dichotomy there.
Well, actually, they rely on solar power because they're walkways of solar power.
You're right. It's solar power there.
Which I don't really understand because like Cyrus created the whole like electric
theory. The first place you see Galactic breaking in is the Valley Windworks. What if Galactic is like a fossil fuel company? And they're
sabotaging
like
all of
clean energy.
Fuck clean energy.
And so Cyrus being from like Sunny Shore is like,
fuck solar power. I don't like it here. It's too sunny. Fuck the Valley Windworks. I don't like wind power. Let's just build an electric company and force everybody else to use it. Which is why the mines are there, because the mines are mining.
Yeah, thermal energy. Mm-hmm. So you get
Grand Underground has a lot of vents. Probably venting into the underground.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool touch. You see vents to the Grand Underground everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Everywhere. All of the towns are like, oh, the Grand Underground is cool. We got vents up here so that, fresh air comes in and out.
How in is Rourke on it all? Because he's in the mining industry big time. Is he getting coal to Galactic? There's a whole can of worms here.
Oh my god.
I'm sure there's a Proto Mario video about it.
Probably.
But Proto, you haven't explained the theory yet. But Proto, how can there be two Aquariuses? But Proto, Lysandre had mechanical bees.
Oh my god. Well, I don't know. It's still never explained because that seems like such a more reasonable plot line than I just want to rip the dimensions apart because I want to be alone. It's like,
yeah.
So you should have stuck with the whole fossil fuel corporation thing because it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Teaching kids about actual things that are happening instead of evil space villains.
I'm actually a little upset now that we keyed into that and it was like, why wasn't that the plot?
Yeah, it's Pokemon and then evil corporations and it's like, let's somehow make these work, and it didn't.
Heck, man. Heck. And the absurdity of Cyrus's goals and actions and mannerisms perhaps is best summarized comparing him to the character that was based off him in the Pokemon movie universe, Zero. Zero is...
The Giratina.
I mean, it's very clear. Yeah, Giratina and the something... It's the movie with Shannon, the most ungracious gratitude Pokemon of them all. But Zero is the villain. He wears a jumpsuit that looks like Giratina, and he's supposed to be Cyrus. He's Cyrus for the movie universe. He wants to live in his perfect recreated universe
with Giratina,
where he and Giratina are weirdo loners together.
He wants to use Giratina's power to create, kind of open a portal dimension into this secondary universe where Giratina lives. But in doing so, he A, is harming Giratina, and B, is destroying the realm while saying that this is for the good of the realm. It doesn't make any sense. He's just evil for the sake of being evil and destructive because he can.
And Cyrus does the same thing. He wants his perfect universe that's achieved by fucking with the Pokemon that would make this possible.
And not really doing anything to save it. It would make more sense if he was trying to create a new realm where he was a god in a sense, but also the only one who knew about, energy in that sense, or could use Yoga or Palkia's power to create new energy.
Yeah, if time and space had some sort of connection to the
limitless energy.
Yeah.
Which would make more sense instead of just being, I want to create this universe where I live alone. It's that doesn't mean anything. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and both of them actively like shoot their own plans in the foot. I forget exactly what Zero does because that movie is kind of blah.
He's just flying a spaceship around.
Yeah, I guess he's shooting his plan in the foot because he wants to live in the distortion world, but he destroys the distortion world. Cyrus shoots himself in the foot because he goes through all this effort to make this red chain out of the 3 lake spirits. That's why he does everything he does. He goes through all this effort to make the red chain to
contain Palkia or Dialga.
Yeah.
And then the lake spirits end up breaking that because fuck you, Cyrus.
Yeah, his plan doesn't work, but the irony to it all. And maybe that's why they did it, for irony's sake. But the man gave us the Master Ball.
He gave it to us. He was like, here, I don't need this thing. The one ball that is able to contain the god of space and or time, he just gives to us. It's like, okay.
Quick Master Ball tangent. When the Master Ball is introduced in red and blue, it's like a prototype ball. They're like, supposedly, will catch anything. But then it just became a series staple where you get one every game. And there's just like, it's never
explained. If it can catch anything, why aren't we just like
mass producing it?
Can catch literal gods in one hit, no challenge.
It stops making sense after its first introduction.
Like, I get why you can't have just stores full of Master Balls, because like that breaks the whole point of the game and makes it less competitive.
It wouldn't be fun anymore.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fun. There's no challenge. But like, I don't know. I feel like it would be more fun if like you could get like maybe 1 or 2 extras instead of just the one for the main like boss.
There are other ways, yeah. And yeah.
Like just 1 or 2, like you could find one like a specific area, or you could only buy one from a specific person and that was it. Just to like catch an extra legendary Pokemon that you're having a really hard time with.
But yeah, in this game, it still goes unaddressed why Master Balls exist, why Cyrus has one, and why he gave away his one and only one.
Because, you know, he could have just kept that ball and then he could have contained Dialga or Palkia. But no, he gave it to this 10-year-old boy who's currently trying to stop him. I don't know.
I'm sure the red chain is cool. But yeah, Cyrus, smartest idiot of them all.
Told you. Fucking called it.
Yeah, so he's whack. Galactic, I think what makes them memorable and one of the more beloved teams across Pokemon history, right? Their goals are a little misguided, don't make sense, don't think about it too hard. We're kids playing this game, I didn't notice it until later.
Yeah.
What makes them more memorable is the actions they take.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking specifically of blowing up the lake. That is a straight up act of like terrorism on the region, eco-terrorism. You blew up a lake, it fucks with all these Magikarp.
All the surrounding area, it's blown up, there's no water.
Like, they destroyed an ecosystem in doing this. Yeah, this game would have been much cooler if the Galactic just was all in on they're an eco-terrorist group or an energy company that then commits eco-terrorism to keep their profit.
Cooler. More relatable, you know.
But yeah, we created our own new like headcanon, but it makes the actions are cool. Just the reasons for the actions get a little muddied.
Yeah.
And then I do want to talk about, too, that specific event of them blowing up the lake. I had a fun little moment when I pulled up to that place when I started talking to, like, the first grunts in the blown up lake area. I'm like, what happens when you talk to these men just clearly standing in a lake that's been blown up?
Yeah. Where there once was a lake and now there's not.
The first one's like, we're so great for doing this. Just you wait until we go to the next lake, Lake Acuity, near where you grow up, or Verity, whichever one. And it's like, and then we're gonna go terrorize that hick town. And for me, I just stood there and I was like, what did you say about my hick town?
Well, I think you left, changed your clothes, you came back, and then you said that.
Yes, you're right. I was so...
So peeved.
I was so boiling because I'm actually IRL, also from a small, arguably hick town. I went to the style shop.
All the way to the style shop, changed clothes, walked all the way back, looked this bitch in the face and went,
what did you say about my hick town? Then I proceeded to kick everyone's ass. I made him point me in the direction of his boss. He was like, that way. And then I put the fear of God into Saturn.
Yeah.
That's probably why I don't see Saturn as shit. Like, right from that moment, I felt morally, like, on the high ground from these people.
Call my hick town.
You do not terrorize my hick town. And then another funny thing we never talked about kind of in our glitch section, but this is literally the
Just a fun
perfect time
thing.
too. When you pull up to the lake, go up to the top right corner of the lake, and there'll be a bunch of Magikarp flopping around. If you go on your bike, this is where you can break the 3D movement. If you go on your bike and start moving around with the circle pad, the 3D motion fucks up and you get like caught between small spaces in the fish. And it's so janky, it's so funny. We're showing you footage on screen here of what that looks like.
Jank.
Shout out to our friend Max. They were the one who initially discovered this. It was funny. The most livid I was during the game when that guy offended my hick town, followed by probably the greatest moment of delight of like, look how stupid this is.
I'm in the fish.
I'm in the fish.
But also this guy who was standing next to the fish is gonna say that they're like so useless to Galactic, and everyone in Galactic's running around with like Peruglies or like Weedles or something. It's like, you're gonna stand here and you're gonna look at me after blowing up a lake that this pile of Magikarp that are currently dying are useless to you. You're an idiot. You're an idiot. You're an idiot.
Yeah, that part of the game can really sell you on Galactic being just like really
So oblivious.
disgusting. Their ignorance is what makes them disgusting. They're destroying environments and threatening to rip apart reality because they're every single one of them, their leader and their followers, are just ignorant fucks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, they are the most realistic. The most realistic evil team ever in a Pokemon game. Goddamn.
But they're just like, oh, these Magikarp are so useless. And I'm like, they become one of the strongest and most versatile Pokemon in the entire game. And you're going to stand here and go, they're useless?
You could have your grunts fitted with Gyarados.
Thunderbolt and Flamethrower and Aerial
little
Ace.
weak ass poison types, which are one of the worst defensive types in all the game.
Your Glameow ain't shit, babe. Like, what are you doing? Pick up a fish. Go to the store and grab a goldfish and a baggie, and maybe you'll actually get somewhere in this company. The state fair is selling them for, what, maybe 50 cents? Come on. Like, you could be so strong if you just actually put in some effort, and you don't want to, because the Magikarp is useless, but it's what it turns into if you actually give it some love.
Yeah, so that part, and also the Valley Windworks, are some of the more memorable things they do, because once again, they're like taking over like this energy plant, and they have a hostage situation basically with this girl's father, which is upsetting, like any little girl being like, my dad's being held up by these weirdos.
Yeah, this hostage situation.
It's like, yeah, these guys are pretty scummy, so that they stick out. They're cool. Galactic goofballs,
You like to
but
hate
they're
them.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You do. Oh yeah, and we already talked about how their teams lack variety.
Easy.
Super duper easy.
Like they're Glameows and they're Zubats and they're just like
Aside from
standard
Jupiter
level.
and Saturn, or Jupiter and Mars, no one else on Galactic really matters. You can blink and
Yeah.
you're like, meh.
They're just grunts, they're just fodder, and even as the game progresses, they don't even get stronger. They just continue to have these like basic level normal types or even poison types, and it just doesn't
And maybe
matter.
they go from like having Zubats to Golbats, but it's still not intimidating.
It's not. It's like they just kind of are in your way, which is a problem because like you don't really want to be fighting them. They're so pointless. They're not worth the XP. They're not worth the waste of like a move, especially on Mount Coronet, because like as you're battling your way up the mountain, you have to fight all these grunts, and you're wasting HP, not HP,
PP.
PP. Yeah, you're wasting PPs on on these grunts, and you don't want to have to be, but you are, because like they're just here to make your life harder, which is so frustrating because they're just so useless. It's not worth fighting them.
There's a joke in there about harder and training PP, but I've been told to stop. The challenge isn't as much beating a gauntlet of hard trainers. It is a endurance test once again, kind of like gyms. Gyms with the more tedious puzzles you don't want to have to redo from the top.
Yeah.
You especially don't want to get through most of Mount Coronet. and then be like, I need to go to the Pokemon Center and have to redo
Go
it.
all the way back down and have to go all the way back up.
And let's say you don't have a lot of money at this point in the game, and can't afford like a lot of repels. You also have random encounters on top of that. It's a whole lot. It's fatiguing.
Once you get the Versus Seeker, though, it's a lot easier to scrap up cash because those rich people will fight you all day.
True.
If you have the amulet coin and you have a strong Pokemon, just put it on the Pokemon and throw them out first. You'll get like maybe 20 grand from the rich people.
Yeah, you can work around it, yeah. There's one rich boy we both farmed. He has one Luxio.
On the beach, yeah. Fucking Luxio.
From the resort on the way to Sunny Shore. Yeah, that kid, he just kicked his Luxio's ass for a while.
Yeah. There's also another rich couple. There's a rich boy at the mansion where there's like a bunch of bugs and Pikachu.
Yep.
There's a
It's literally the rich person mansion.
Yeah. If you go and you battle those people, you will get plenty of money. The gold amulet makes it a lot easier as well, but if you don't have it, it's fine. They end up giving you what I think maybe 10 grand per fight.
Yeah, enough that like if you do 30 minutes to an hour, you'll have enough disposable income to get about anything you want.
Mm-hmm. Any outfits, any utilities for a while. So like, yeah, golden amulets and Versus Seekers are great ways to farm cash.
We did talk about the style shop, right? I think we did, like a long time ago, not today, but I think we had a note about it.
I think we touched on it. I mean, it's cool. I like the style shop. There's cool outfits. I think some of them are a little overpriced for what they are, and it's like, oh, they're cute, but I'd never actually wear it, so I don't really want it.
Yeah. Also, I find that the outfits for the boy overall are
so cute. So cute.
On average, I would wear more of those outfits than the ones for Dawn, which is too bad because Dawn is pretty iconic in the anime too for having some nice outfits. So it's too bad. I'm also not crazy about her cyber outfit. She's supposed to be like 10 or 12. And this makes her look like a full-ass woman. Not crazy about that one. On the other hand, her winter outfit is
cute.
So good. This is one of the best ones.
I really like the overalls for the little boy and the tuxedo that your mom gives you for your first contest. When you actually get into the hall, you can see your mom. She's there for whatever reason. It's just like, hey mom, and she's like, oh, here's this cool outfit, and she gives you like this white and blue pinstripe tuxedo, and it looks
your cyber outfit is way cooler too.
Yeah. And you also get like a free platinum outfit if at some point you get like a gift.
Fun fact, that was a early event because we bought it near launch. So be careful about resetting your game because I don't think you can get the platinum style outfit anymore. Which is too bad because I really liked it and would start another file of this game, but I don't want to lose that platinum outfit, so too bad. It's
nice to dress in those cute little outfits that you have because like the boy is super cute with his little like overalls and I love it. I love it so much.
And the Metronome Style Shop has the most bumpin' theme ever. Gets me hyped every time stepping into that place.
It's hip and swag, yo.
The Style Shop replaces an old place. It was a casino before. You gambled, but Pokemon has since stopped including casinos in their games for some reason.
Gambling.
So now you have a cool Style Shop, and some people are like, it's not as customizable as other Pokemon games. Like in other Pokemon games, it's not full fit. Yeah. You can do interchangeable pieces of the outfit.
Yeah.
I think it's a happy middle because every remake we've gotten till now, like for instance, I'm gonna bring up Omega Ruby. Whoa, that's a slip of tongue. Wow, and Alpha Sapphire. In those games, it was well into the era where you could customize your outfits, but it was just the base outfits from the original Gen 3. You can make them change it all. And I was of the camp like, it would be really cool if you could dress up these old characters.
I think it would be cool.
So I think it's a happy middle ground that they have different outfits you can have for these characters.
I wish that they could have like had like you could choose different color sets for the outfits.
True, customize on top of it with that would be another thing.
Instead of one basic outfit, you could have like different color sets just to make it a little more personalized.
Because then at least you could do like, okay, you have to pick one solid outfit, but
I like
you have choices within that.
Yeah, because I like the cyberpunk outfit, but I don't like the color scheme necessarily. Like, I wish it were different colors. I like how bright they are, but it's just, what is it, like the pink and the green? Personally, I think they kind of clash in a weird way, which is kind of the point.
Splatoon colors.
Yeah, it's kind of the point, but I don't know. I just didn't like how they clashed. I wanted different colors.
Fair
Which is
enough.
probably why I didn't get it.
And some fits are outrageously expensive too. Which I guess is a thing to save up money for. You get to a point where you can easily farm money. I got all the fits eventually.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a little bit.
Trips to the supermarket are super fun. I really like those. Just blast a whole bunch of cash in there. They're super nice.
I love spending money.
I love money.
That's why I play Pokemon.
Money.
To wrap up this discussion today, I just want to acknowledge a couple of the things that we didn't cover. I feel like, this video could be as long as it is, but it's already so long.
Mm-hmm.
And we could talk for as long as the day is long, but at the end of the day, there are going to be just some parts that didn't resonate as much with us, or we won't be as equipped to review it well. The main one I'm thinking of is the post-game battle tower.
Yeah.
I stopped caring.
I also stopped
And I
caring.
was more into the other post-game content available to you at that point.
Yeah, the battle tower was like okay. The tickets didn't really seem like they were worth it, especially
Apparently it's a way to get more ribbons if you care.
It's not worth it for me. Like, most of my Pokemon are so over leveled at this point that it doesn't really matter. It's not really a challenge, and the tickets aren't really worth it. You go through a couple of battles and like you get maybe like 2 tickets and everything's like 80 tickets or more, so you really have to grind it out in the tower.
It's for people who like competitive Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's not us. And also, what I do hear is that in Platinum, there were like 5 different battle facilities. I do remember this as well. In Diamond and Pearl, there's only one, the Battle Tower. And in this game, they once again stay true to form with, this is a Diamond and Pearl remake, and it's just the Battle Tower. So I know people are upset about that. Maybe that also worked into us not caring. Maybe if there were more areas, we would care more.
If there was more diversity, I honestly wish
Because I
it
know
was just more fleshed out. Overall, I wish the game were A, more polished, or B, more diversified. I wish that there was more of it. It definitely felt like a remake, and I enjoyed that, but post-game, I wish there was more to do and like more replayability, more exciting things to do. It just doesn't quite feel like there's enough to the game.
Yeah.
I liked it for my first game, and I enjoyed it, but I wish that there was more and that they could have expanded upon the games that they had already created, because they had what appeared to be a really good base, but
with a lot of holes.
And I can definitely say from playing on the DS, not necessarily playing these games, as I said before, but I can see where some of those aspects were implemented very well on the DS, or could have been implemented well, but definitely fell short on the Switch and should have been thought through more carefully. And then I think some aspects could have been definitely improved upon moving into a remake of a game, because it's not just a remaster, it's kind of a remake, given that it's on a different platform. Which was a little disappointing to see, because like
they are remakes because they have a whole like subtitle or extra
credits.
Or no, I'm just thinking like Diamond and Pearl versus Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
They're remakes.
They're not brilliant and they're not shining. They're super unpolished.
Which is unfortunate, because I really love the arc of Dialga and Palkia. I loved the movie growing up of The Rise of Darkrai. I thought that was a really kick-ass movie.
Gen 4 remakes are one of the most anticipated of Pokemon remakes, and I think
it was a cool generation.
Did not stick the landing. They made a landing, but broke many bones on the fall.
They kind of hobbled out of that landing. Yeah, everything works and it's fine, but like definitely needed some refinement.
And usually bringing something to new hardware is supposed to bring new life to a game, not make the dated parts more apparent, which is what this did.
And I appreciate what they did to kind of fix those holes, but it felt like a band-aid over the problem. It didn't quite feel like they had addressed the issue and then refined it and implemented it into the game better.
Yeah, band-aid solutions everywhere.
And I can see them, but like, I still enjoyed the game, even with its holes. I still found it very enticing and very exciting and very challenging in places, and I appreciated that. But overall, I'd give this, if I were to give the game a rating.
Ooh, rating the game, yeah.
I'm not rating it in Nintendo style, because I don't really have any other games to compare it to, but I'm just going to give it a 1 out of 10.
Ooh, 1 out of 10, that low.
1 out of 10? No, like on the scale of 1 to 10.
I was like, wow.
I would give it
I like
1.
it, but it's a 1.
But it's a 1. No, I'd probably give it a 7 or an 8. I enjoyed it overall, but there were definitely some things that could have made the experience a little better because it's their game. They could have done a lot of things differently, and they didn't. They just decided to remake an older game, but unfortunately, when they remake an older game on new hardware, there are things that are going to be falling short, and I think they just didn't really care that much.
Yeah.
Could have cared more, I guess.
Every remake up until this point was turning a Game Boy game into either a DS game or a 3DS game. Like, that's a big jump. There's stuff that you can make to the experience that is additive. And until now, remakes have felt just that, additive. This version, it's not even arguable. It's just the case that it is a subtractive version. It is lesser. Platinum was already technically a remake of Diamond and Pearl, and you are better off playing an emulator where you can speed up the original Diamond or Platinum, which achieves the purpose of what these remakes should be doing, which is improving on the experience.
Yeah.
There's a weird thing with like how the day one patch functions. Most of the game's data is on it, and there's like a thing where like if you like once there'll be a point in time where that patch will no longer exist because like the update and the support will no longer exist because it's internet dependent.
Yeah.
The servers will be down, whatever. There will be a point like way in the future where these games are relatively unplayable, and you're better off playing just the DS games. Like the DS games will outlive this remake. Yeah. And that's a really sad reality.
Yeah. But this was overall a good game, and I would play it again.
Yeah, because the originals and the Pokemon-based formula is so charming. It is still fun, and we were willing to live through the crap. But Pokemon can do better. Pokemon is proving already that they're dedicated to
The next
taking
generation.
risks. With Arceus, and it looks like Gen 9 is going for open worlds again. Pokemon is still rushing through their releases, and that will always hinder them because there will always be just
Things that
very clear
done.
lacks of polish. At the same time, they are moving away from this antiquated, like it felt like this game was kind of a last goodbye to the classic Pokemon formula. Like, we know this formula is dated, so if you want to
Play it on a newer generation of consoles, here you go.
Yeah, it was like a final bone.
Yeah.
Um,
Bring an old classic game.
the
that's
caveat
really
is the
good.
bone's like rotting.
It's like going away, but like I appreciate it for what it's doing, which is bringing a really good game that was on an older generation of consoles that you can't really find anymore, or really expensive, some don't work, or just like it's mostly for older people and like with the older generation, and bringing it onto a generation that is more widely sought through.
The install base to the
through the
Switch
younger
is
generation.
closing in, if not already surpassed the DS, because the DS has like is the best-selling console above the Wii, and Switch also has a large install base, so you have a chance to kind of recapture lightning in a bottle. And they did in ways, but not fully.
Because the way Nintendo is treating the Switch is that they are seeing it as the new DS. It has been around for a couple of years, and it seems like it's going to be around for a couple of years. They want to put everything into this game.
They can rely on it the way they could rely on the DS.
The Wii or the DS or the Game Boy for a long time. So they plan on bringing everything that was really good on the DS into the Switch and then moving forward with new games.
I just had the image in my head of the really old meme of Iwata holding a Wii, and there's a bill coming out of it, a $1 bill, and it's like, look, it prints money.
It prints money.
Money. Pokemon now, but it takes out Diamond and Pearl. It prints money.
Might.
It really does. Oh my god. The camera just died, so now it's just our voice. Thank you for watching / listening / subscribing. Wink, 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 wink.
Wink.
Wink, wink. Thanks again so much for watching. Until next time, stay super. What kind of soup?
Clam chowder, obviously. New England.
The official soup of the Hero of the Main channel.
New England clam chowder! Best soup ever!
Good. I wouldn't have ended that any other way.